So, just to introduce what we have in partnership here with vScaler is it's a combination of a private cloud appliance that we put into on-site customer premises, which is then tightly integrated with our public offering. So the vScaler public offering is built from the ground up, leveraging a lot of HPC technologies, very high bandwidth networks, fabrics, using the exact same software stack that we put into an on-premise solution so that we can tightly integrate the two and allow people to transparently and seamlessly migrate workloads from on-premise to external cloud resources as and when they need it. So it sort of acts as a first system with a very simple orchestration panel, single pane of glass that allows you to move these workloads to and from the cloud with relative ease. And tying all of this together, we've got the vScaler Connect as well. So we've a dark fiber ring which is on net now with a number of link providers such as Janet and things like that. So we can plug in with university networks and commercial networks up and down the country, again at very, very high speed. And then, again, tying all of this together, we've got a vScaler Flex storage, again, which I'll talk about more in a couple of slides, but that's the sort of caching layer that, again, allows us to transparently move data in and out of the cloud with relative ease. So, as part of the vScaler, we're leveraging a lot of open source components, and a number of these come from OpenStack. And if anyone's ever tried to get OpenStack up and running in a production environment, I think they'll appreciate the challenges that are associated with this. It's probably one of the most complicated open source stacks that you'll have to put together, as it leverages every single component that you'll find in a data center in a software-defined network, scale-out storage, orchestration, compute capability, monitoring, billing. Every single component that falls into the data center is part of OpenStack. And getting these all configured to interoperate with one another, encrypting them all so that they're secure, making them all highly available, that is quite a challenging to get sorted. And that's why a number of enterprise customers have actually failed to adopt OpenStack because of these challenges associated. There was a look done by Susie Linnett into where OpenStack adoption trends are sort of lying, and I mean their outcome was is that there's a skills shortage in the industry that's really preventing wider adoption of OpenStack. So what we're doing with vScaler is we're taking a lot of the complication out and actually providing a fully highly tuned, integrated OpenStack solution with our own storage layer underneath it as well, which is cloud aware and enabled, and delivering that as a turnkey appliance, both on-prem and in our product offering. Through the actual appliance, we've got a system on our boot. It's over in 225, but we have this sort of a building block and scale-out approach towards our cloud system. So with the appliance, you've got a number of nodes that sit within your infrastructure. They provide compute, storage, and networking in the same way a lot of other hyper-converged platforms provide. With this single box, you can deliver about 200 low to moderate VM workloads on this platform, and as you need to increase that, you just add more servers to it, and the services and VMs just automatically scale out across all of the available resources. On the fabric side of it, we've done a number of intelligent things to actually speed up the storage fabric and speed up the actual networking within the cloud. So we've got VXLAN offloading, which is done on NIC, and RDMA storage fabric for very low latency, high bandwidth into our storage fabric as well. So we're taking a lot of components that we use in the day-to-day in high-performance computing and applying this to cloud computing as well. So the actual architecture, and you can kind of see here, we have a number of these blocks are essentially just servers. So you've got a combination of your disk, CPU, and RAM. And as you scale out your infrastructure, you just add more of these components. And they build on top of virtualized infrastructure, which would all of the networking virtualization. So any tenant can come along and set up their own private network and plug that into the external network, and we'll carry on like that, do routing, load VPN, all of that sort of stuff. So every number of these and the NVMEs and to build out a number of tiers in the scale up manner and provide a So tying
then we have a centralized control panel as well, which allows us to do cluster management, monitoring of the environment. So there's been a lot of work involved in actually integrating into the hardware platform to ensure that there's predictive monitoring of all of the actual hardware. Anytime there's going to be like an ECC error or smart error on the drives, VMs are automatically migrated off the system. It's marked as potentially vulnerable, and it can be investigated then by engineers. And on top of that, we've got the standard OpenStack API, so this isn't a proprietary product. You're able to leverage open APIs, so if you're developing anything for OpenStack, it will automatically run on top of this platform as well. And there's REST APIs as well. So, and of course end-user self-service portals as well, so you can provide people with an account and they can go in and set up all of the infrastructure they require as they need. So that's the on-premise sort of architecture. We've also applied this to our public offering as well. So everything that's configured on your on-prem vScaler appliance is identically configured as well in our cloud solution. We've built in a number of integration layers between this, which allow you to actually migrate workloads from your control panel from a private location out onto our public location as well. So this makes it very easy for people to actually leverage public facilities, and we're working with a number of other public providers as well to enable us to actually burst out into those as well in the future. We've got intelligent cloud storage tiering, and again deep integration with our on-premise offering. So it's truly a sort of hybrid approach towards cloud computing. Anything that's secure or requires it to be stored locally or controlled by your local administration team can be, but it also gives you the flexibility and power to actually orchestrate your own cloud workloads as well and migrate components of your workflow and business out onto the cloud. vScaler Flex is our storage layer, and this really is where a lot of the intelligence lies within our platform. So once you put in your on-premise storage, once you burst out into the cloud, we enable a caching tier. So it's like an encrypted VPN tunnel is created out into the cloud. We put a caching tier out into any cloud nodes. So anytime information or data or I/O is actually read out in the cloud, only the actual blocks that are being used are transferred out into the cloud. So you've no longer got this challenge of migrating gigabytes and terabytes of data out into the cloud. Only the information that you need to actually use in the cloud is migrated out onto it. So it's a very efficient and secure way of actually moving workloads out into the cloud, and it addresses one of the challenges people have with cloud adoption today, which is how do I keep moving my data in and out and keep it synchronized. It essentially extends your storage tier out into the cloud, caches it locally on SSDs which are inside in our cloud nodes, and enables you to just efficiently use whatever data you're just using. And as well as that, all your storage then is persistent because you don't have multiple copies of your data locally and in cloud, so there's no problems then with inconsistent files between different areas. The management interface, so again, it's fully capable and provides all of the functionality within our platform. Seamlessly allows users and administrators to monitor, coordinate and orchestrate full cloud environments from the comfort of a phone or any sort of a web-enabled appliance. Speaking about vScaler Connect, so this gives you a sort of an idea of a number of the POPs that we have on our fabric. So this is one of the sort of a unique feature that we actually have when compared to some of the other public providers. We're on net with a number of other large providers as well. So I mentioned Janet, which is like the UK academic network. So universities are able to plug directly into this at a very, very high bandwidth, low latency access into our fibre, into our dark fibre ring. And we've also got a number of other POPs then around London as well, which allow very, very high bandwidth and dedicated access, uncontended with our platform. Just to give a bit of background as well on the vScaler Connect, so it's actually been used as the back-end infrastructure for a number of broadcasting live sporting events such as the Rugby World Cup, and we'll be working with ITV on the Paralympics as well over the next while. So all of that data that's been streamed for live broadcasting has been used on top of our platform. You can see a number of the other people that we've worked with as well. One of the other capabilities that we do is kind of layer these sort of cloud optimized applications on top of our platform. So it's not just an infrastructure as a service play. We've also got a number of areas of expertise where we layer HPC and other capabilities, media and entertainment and finance in a sort of an optimized way on top of our cloud. And one of the technologies that we've introduced to it as well is this ability to dynamically aggregate components of our cloud and present them as a single VM within the system. So if somebody needed to put together either a system with 100 or 1,000 cores, or a very large multi-terabyte of RAM for a particular use case, or even leverage multiple GPUs, we're able to dynamically aggregate all of the components within our cloud and present them as one large VM. So again, that's something as well which is a little bit unique and sort of plays nicely into the sort of high-end use case for very intensive workloads. A couple of case studies of customers that we're working with. So there's an ongoing collaboration with a large UK academic institute where they're using this platform as a burst facility for their on-site high-performance computing cluster. So again, this storage tier that we have has been implemented on-site with the customer, and we've enabled them with access into our platform. So they're now dynamically spinning up workloads and migrating them out into our cloud platform. And we're sort of evaluating a number of the scientific workloads that they're migrating across and evaluating performance on it. So this is an ongoing project that we're doing, and we expect to have a case study on this very, very shortly. Another one we had was we were working with the Catapult Centre for Transport, and what they were doing was sort of logistical optimization around sort of travel routes. So there was a hackathon that they put together for sort of users to come in and see if they could optimize sort of routes and do logistical regression and all of that. So they selected our platform as a system to be able to spin up multiple Hadoop big data environments. So all of the users at the hackathon were actually able to come in and use our system. Each of them had their own dedicated Hadoop cluster, and just spent the whole weekend sort of working through 8 various different transport challenges. So again, they were looking towards creating the future of mobility, and our platform being sort of HPC optimized and having the big data and Hadoop stack fully integrated with the ability to just spin it up in a few seconds. That was selected as a result of that. This is another sort of university that we're working with in the UK, and they're actually putting together a sort of an academic course around cloud computing techniques. So we're developing a number of courses with those guys as well around teaching open APIs and cloud usage within academia. And then finally as well, so we've one of the other sort of stacks that layered on top of our platform is this ability to take audio and analyze it and extract metadata and keywords from any sort of audio streams. And what this is useful for is anyone who's got a secure environment, such as a financial company or anyone else who needs to analyze phone calls and voice calls to ensure that there's nothing suspicious going on or being distributed across any sort of phone lines. So we've got another technology that we layer on this, which allows sort of real-time analysis of all sort of voice calls. So we've been doing a lot of work with a company who provide this as a service to the financial sector, where they're able to go in and do compliance and checks and validates on top of all of their audio streams. So that's been pumped into our fabric and analysed in the fly. So we were able to process 3,000 hours of audio in just 4 hours. So that was just a sort of a brief introduction into vScaler and what we do. There's an awful lot more capabilities and technologies that I could speak to you for hours about. So if there's anybody interested in speaking any further, we're just over on booth 225. But other than that, thank you very much for your time and attendance. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.